it's Tina. So I'm here to tell you 5 reasons that you should join Curriculum Club. Reason number 1 is if you feel lonely and you're the only language teacher around who's doing this type of teaching, or you're the only language teacher around, period, you should join, because for like $1.13 a day, you can have a PLC of lots of people around the country who are like-minded. Not only is it CI teachers, but it's also CI teachers who want to do this type of teaching. They want to take it to the next level and make something really different happen in their classroom. Number 2, the stuff that I'm laying down in Curriculum Club, I basically earned this information through like going through the ringer with my administrator. I was getting 2s on my evaluation, and maybe it wouldn't have like made me think anything about it, except for the fact that I was also like writing books that were selling to a whole bunch of teachers and making presentations and doing workshops in districts and state conferences and all kinds of places all over the country, even internationally. So I was kind of like, what's up with this? So I worked super hard to bring all kinds of things from all of these places, all these disciplines that I taught: English language arts, social studies, ESOL, reading intervention, writing intervention. And I brought them all together to make what I was doing in my world language classroom like look more like school without selling out my soul, and going back to like, if they want to learn, if they want to know what they're supposed to learn, like I guess they're supposed to learn how to conjugate et. I didn't want to do that. It's not in the standards. It's not the way the brain learns. And it's what I did in French class before I went to France. I couldn't talk to anybody. So I didn't want to do that to my kids. So I worked super hard and brought in stuff from all over the world of literacy into this club and these materials to make sure that I was going to be able to look like school and act like school and feel like school and still be doing what I knew was right and the standards are leading us to do. Reason number 3. There has never been a group of educators doing this type of teaching with this type of structure. Never before have we ever had educators doing this type of language teaching who can get together and say, I'm on cycle 3, phase 1. And everybody knows what that is, and everybody can come together and problem solve about that particular cycle and that particular phase's learning objectives. Cycle 3, phase 1 is writing stories in the past, telling stories in the past, orally speaking stories in the past, and trying to put in more description. So when you're talking about what you're doing in the classroom with this community, you know where they are because we've got this shorthand. Not only that, we also have this daily framework of instruction. And so you can say, I need a guided oral input strategy that's not going to make me have to make up a story with my class for cycle 3, phase 1. And the coaches know, the other members know, we all know what you're looking for because you're looking for this type of strategy for this cycle in this phase. So that's never happened before. Number 4, teaching well is an investment because they don't teach us generally how to do it in our teacher training programs. So you're gonna have to invest your time in learning how to teach something well. You could invest your time in learning how to use the textbook really well. But that doesn't really align to the standards or how the brain learns. You could invest your time in learning how to do all these different strategies. You could buy materials from other people, but that doesn't develop you as a curriculum generating machine. I would never have even known that that's what I was looking for in world language if I hadn't had Lucy Calkins teach me. Wasn't just Lucy, but I did get to have some classes with her, and I have talked to her like for about 5 minutes one time, my claim to fame. When I learned from Lucy Calkins, helped me to learn how to teach. You can buy materials, you can try a strategy here and there, you can buy whole programs. There's stuff out there to spend your money on and your time. But what I want for you is what I got from Lucy, and I know that it's possible because it's already happening with the members who are in here right now. I want you to be able to not rely on anybody else in the future and feel like I do. When I see a strategy that somebody's talking about, I can filter it through. Is it a description strategy? Is it an information strategy? Is it a narrative strategy? Is that a guided oral input strategy? Is that a review strategy? And I know exactly where it would go if I chose to put it into my instruction. I can also make up strategies because I know what I'm looking for in a guided oral input strategy for narration. Reason number 5. Sometimes we think, the kids don't know where they're going. They don't know what they're learning. I have to prove to them that they're learning. It feels too easy. While it's true that language acquisition actually proceeds in an effortless way, there are things that we can give our students that are not conjugations. They're not list of vocabulary words. They're not verb tables, but they are things that the conscious mind can work with. By the time people get to be, 10, 11, 12 years old, and maybe even before that, they've pretty much internalized the fact that they're supposed to be doing stuff with their brains when they're in school. So if we just tell them, let's sit down and have a great time and let's just all have a wonderful time, that's good for some teachers. I swear, if that's working for you, curriculum club might not be what you need. But myself, even though I'm actually pretty good at being creative with my kids, and I'm pretty committed to the fact that all they need is more input, I still found that my little mateys on the SS Hargaden were sometimes getting a little restless because it was like, where's the captain taking us? We don't really see land. And we're getting kind of low on hardtack over here. So I would always kind of feel this undercurrent of especially when I moved schools to a more wealthy and more achievement-oriented school, I'd always kind of feel like, I wish I could show them where we were going. And then one day, when I was on my way to this office right here, about 1.5 years ago, I had this pew, and I realized that we could show them places that they're going that aren't learn how to conjugate the verb devoir. Because we could base our curriculum on different genres, description, narration, information, blah, blah. And then if we did that, we could start giving them concentrated doses of language that does that thing, that narrates, describes, informs, teaches, argues, persuades, states an opinion. So basically, it's like a curriculum organized around language functions, not specific parts of the language, not specific topics. I wanted the people that were using my materials to be free to teach about whatever it was that they wanted. And I wanted to give them assessment materials that measured stuff that kids could actually consciously control in their brains. Things and that are also satisfying to master. Things like putting in more dialogue and inner thinking into your story, or beginning your story with inner thinking or dialogue or action instead of being there was a boy, his name was Bill. Or in a description, putting in more details about the setting, what it feels like and looks like, and more details about a person if you're describing a person, what they look like on the outside, what they're like on the inside. But what's different and standards based about this curriculum is that it does not tell you that the learning objective is to say, il est blond. There is no, he's blonde. There is nowhere in the actual standards that say kids need to know how to say blond. But they do say that they need to be able to narrate and describe in all major time frames. So this curriculum is completely standards based, and there is nothing in it that is not standards based. However, there are additions from the world of language arts and the Common Core and reading and writing workshop. Things like putting in inner thinking, putting in dialogue. That's kind of where the actual materials don't give us the nuts and bolts. So I spent a year getting up at 2 and 3 and 1 o'clock in the morning even, day after day after day. Because that's what I wanted for us. I wanted us to have the kind of stuff that I had as a language arts teacher that saved my butt and made me realize that I could teach. So why am I out like beating the bushes and talking about curriculum club all the time? Because I don't know if we're going to launch again. It depends on how many people we get now and how much work it takes to support them, because I'm not taking in more people than we can support. So we might launch again in the spring. We might not launch again until next summer. And I want you to, number one, get in while the price is still $34 a month, because it's not going to be this forever. Because when people join in the summer, they're going to get a whole year's worth of curriculum, and they're not going to have to sit around like waiting for it to get dripped out by us as soon as we make it. The tracks are there, the frameworks are there, but the daily lesson plans aren't. So if I want people to get in now, one, so they can save some money forever, because as long as you stay a member, then your price is never going to increase. And two, because if you're going to have a stronger tomorrow, you need to plant the seeds today. So even if you just join and kind of marinate along with us and then really buckle down in the summer, you are going to make 2020 to 2021 a much better year if you join Curriculum Club right now. And anyway, what do you have to lose? If you join, you get 30 days to get a full refund. You're out $34 that you got back and some of your time. And you probably would have learned something anyway. So I really don't think you have anything to lose, and you have a lot to gain. One final thing. I'm actually not even personally taking any of the money from this launch of Curriculum Club. I'm putting it in savings because I want to hire some other people to help me write the materials that I don't have time to write. Things like, here are the challenge texts for the checkpoint assessment for cycle 1, phase 3. These are the challenge texts for first year, second year, and third year. Cycle 1, phase 3, cycle 1, phase 4, cycle 2, phase 1. I want you to be able to come to Curriculum Club and download things that align with all the cycles and phases for your language. I can't do that on my own. And nobody who's working in the classroom is going to have time to help me the way I need. I can see materials like that have never been created before. The reason I can see them is, one, I'm kind of creative and I have a good imagination and I can actually picture things in my brain and like make them work. Two, I had those things as a language arts teacher. They had been developed over years and years and years and years by lots and lots of people. And I was able to benefit from that when I was just a first year teacher. I do not want anybody who has any inkling that they want to shift their instruction to be more in line with our national standards, and to be honest, most of our state standards as well. And to be honest, most of our local standards as well. I do not want a single person who wants to shift their instruction to feel adrift or lost or like they have to recreate it all on their own. It's hard enough changing what you're doing. It's hard enough like dealing with the mind shift that we were never taught to make. I do not want to lose anybody who comes to this way of teaching because it's overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie, it is a learning curve. When I told you I became like a lean, mean curriculum generating machine with Lucy's materials and the teacher's college stuff, and that's true, but it didn't happen overnight. The first couple of years of using her materials, I was like putting in a lot of effort. I was reading her lesson plans every day, sometimes in class as I was teaching from them. But I knew, because of the quality of her products and her materials, I knew that I was already starting to see it happen. Even in that first year, that was so much work. I could tell that I was internalizing what it means to be a teacher with a plan and a place to take my students that's worth going to. And I could see that my second year students that I had my second year of teaching were a lot stronger than my first year students, and a lot calmer and a lot better, behaved. They weren't better people. They just had a teacher who had better stuff. So that's what I want for you. I don't really want your $34 a month. It's going in the bank. It's like going in the Curriculum Club coffers. I have plenty of money. I mean, I'm not like a rich woman. I live in a tiny house and share this one old paid off Toyota Corolla from 2008 with my husband. And I'm going to drive that thing till the tires fall off or it stops working. I hardly even drive at all anyway. I basically fly around on planes all the time. It's not because I want your money that I'm doing this. It's not because I want money that I'm doing. It's not because any of us want money that we're doing this. We wouldn't be teachers if we just wanted money. Sure, I want to make enough money to live so I can keep on doing this work, but that's not the reason that I'm here like talking to you right now about Curriculum Club. I want you to grow. I want our movement to grow. I want us in 5 years to be the way it is done. I want us to be able to say, not I'm a CI teacher, but I'm a teacher who does what ACTFL says to do. So it's for me because it makes me happy. It's for you because it will develop you as a person. It's for the profession because the stronger we can get and the more defensible like programs we have, the better we look. But ultimately it's for the kids because I see this program and any good instructional program as a bubble of protection over our students so that inside of that bubble, they can be kids and they can be happy and they can feel strong. Even the ones that don't feel strong with other teachers can feel strong. Because inside that bubble is the future of our planet. And with the way things are going right now, could very well be the future of humanity, like surviving in general. So that's what I've constructed. I've constructed a way to build an unassailable fortress of data that doesn't harm the kids to get. That proves that what we're doing is making them into stronger readers, stronger writers, and stronger communicators in general. Not just in French, not just in Spanish, but across the board. I just sincerely invite you to give Curriculum Club a try because you really have nothing to lose and you have a lot to gain, and so does the planet. On that note, that's 60th Avenue here in Southeast Portland, Oregon. Oh no, Northeast. And I guess I'm gonna log off on that note. Anyway, consider it, okay? I'd love to see you.